Navigation in Flutter looks simple. You added navigator.push method and it will add a new screen on the current screen. Or let's say you added navigator.pop method and it will remove the current screen. If it is that simple, then why the app get crashed when back button is pressed? Or let's say it will lose the data. So let's fix all these things in today's video. So let's start simple. So here I have this stateless widget as home screen. Okay, and inside this widget I just have the single app bar and a body in which we have a center widget. Now let's create another stateless widget and let's call it as screen2. Then come inside this build method and from here just return a scaffold widget, and for body parameter here add a center widget, and then here add a text widget which will say screen2, and then for style here add the text style and make the font size as 24. It's perfectly fine. Now let's come back to our home screen, and then inside the center widget here create a elevated button. So we will use this elevated button to go to the screen2. Okay, so here add the child first and then give it the text widget and say go to details and then come to this onPressed method. Then from here we need to go to screen2, right? So for doing that, here first we need to use the navigator class. Okay, so here add the navigator. Then in this navigator we have multiple methods, like we can push a new screen, we can pop a screen, we can give the push replacement and all these other things. But right now our agenda is to go to the screen2. So here add a push method. So now let's talk about this push method. So what is this push method? So understand this push method as the stakes push method. So what it will do, it will push a new item onto the current item, right? So in context of navigator, what it will do, it will place our screen2 on top of this home screen, right? So in Flutter, navigation work like stake. Whenever you push a screen, it will go on to top of our current screen. Okay, so here add the push method. Then here we need to pass the context. So here add the context. Now you can ask that what is the use of this context? In case of navigator, try to understand the context as the address. Like we are going to screen2 from the home screen, right? So this context refers to the home screen. Like we are navigating from home screen to screen2. So this is why context need to be added here, because let's say from the screen2 we are pressing a back button, right? In that case, it should come back to this home screen. And if we didn't pass the context, or if we passed a wrong context, then your app can get crashed. So always keep this thing in mind. Always pass the correct context in this navigator push method. Okay. Then here we need to add the material page route. Okay. So here add the material page route. Now this material page route requires a builder function. Okay. So here add the builder. Then again in this builder we need to pass the same context. So here again add the same context. Then afterwards here we need to give the address, like on which widget we are planning to go. So in our case we are planning to go to screen2, right? So here add the screen2. Now it's perfectly fine. Now let's save the code and run the application. Now if you can see, then when I'm pressing onto this elevated button, then you can see we are successfully getting navigated to our screen2. That's the simplest example of navigation, and this is it about the navigation. Now let's talk about some other methods of navigation. Now let's come to this screen2. Okay, now here just copy this above elevated button code and remove this text widget, or don't remove it, wrap this text widget inside a column widget. Then here paste our elevated button. Okay, now let's say from the screen2 you want to go back to your home screen, right? Then what beginners do, they will here again add the navigator.push method, and then they will pass the context, and then here they will add the home screen. So this is a very big mistake. So now what will happen? Let's say we have our home screen, right? Then we added push method for screen2. So this screen2 will come above the home screen, right? Now we again from the screen2 we are pushing to home screen, right? Then now home screen will appear on top of screen 2. Now you can see here, if we wanted, then we can manage our stack properly. Like when user want to go back to the home screen from screen 2, then he can simply use the pop method. But instead of this, what beginners do, they use this push method. Now this is the home screen, then screen 2, then again home screen. Now if user will go back, then they will again redirect it to screen 2, and if they again press the back button, then they will again get redirect to home screen, and if they again press the back button, then the app will get closed. So this is the worst thing which you can do with your navigation. So keep this thing in mind. Whenever you want to go back, then don't use navigator.push method. Always use navigator.pop method, and this navigator.pop method will remove the top screen from the current stack. Now let's talk about the passing data to the next screen. Okay, so let's say on the home screen we have some data, and now we want to pass this home screen's data to the second screen, or let's say screen 2. In that case, what we can do, inside our widget we can add the property which we want to use, right? For example, let's say in screen 2 I want to pass a value like from where it is coming. So what I can do, I can come to this widget, and here I can create a variable. Let's say the type is going to be of string. So here add the final string, and we are passing the path. Then in that case, let's name this variable as path, right? Now afterwards, we need to add this variable inside this constructor. So here add it as the constructor and mark this property as required. Okay, now let's come to this material page route. Now you can see here we are seeing this error that it required a property. Okay, so here add the path, and then here add from whom. Now if I save the code and run the application, then you can see when I'm tapping onto this button, then we are not seeing anything. Okay, because we didn't use this path variable anywhere. So come to this text widget, and here add the path value. Okay, now again save the code and run the application. Then you can see if I'm pressing onto this button, then from home is coming inside this text widget. So this is how you can pass the data from one screen to second screen. Or let's say you have a stateful widget, right? So let's convert this screen to stateful, right? And now you can see this path is pushed to this stateful widget. And if I want to use this variable in our state class, then I can simply refer it as widget dot our variable name, that is path. And again, it will work the same way. You can check it out by saving the code and running the application, and you can see when I'm pressing onto this button, then again I'm seeing the same thing. Nothing changed apart from just widget type. Previously it was stateless widget, now it is stateful widget. So do remember this thing, whenever you are passing the data from screen 1 to screen 2, you always need to those values inside your constructor, and by passing the values inside constructor, you can use these values. Now let's talk about the most interesting part of the navigation. When you want to return back the data, let's say from the screen 2, you want to return some data to this home screen. In that case, you need to use this navigator.pop method. So here add navigator.pop, and then here add the context, and then here you can add the value which you want to return. Let's say from here I want to return that coming from screen 2. Okay, this is a string value which I want to return. Now here is the interesting part. Now come to this home screen's elevated button, and here we need to store this data inside a variable. So here assign this navigator.push method to a variable, and let's name this variable as final result. Now keep remember this thing, that whenever you are expecting some data returned back, in that case you always need to mark this function as asynchronous. Now you can ask that why would I need to mark this function as asynchronous? So the reason is that, let's say user was on the home screen, right? He pressed the button, he redirected to screen 2. In that case, user is not coming back immediately, right? So that is why here we need to mark this function as asynchronous, that we need to tell our code wait here, like until the user is not coming back, right? So again, mark this onPressed method as asynchronous, and then here add the await, because we are expecting some data back from the screen 2, and we don't know when user will come back to home screen from the screen 2, right? Keep this thing in mind and it will always help. Okay, now let's save the code and run the application, or let's say don't run it, because we need to use this value somewhere. So here add the print statement, and in that print statement we will print this value. Okay, now you can use this value inside this text widget, but the same thing that here again we need to convert this home screen to stateful widget, and I don't want to do this right now. So here I'm just printing this result value, and here we can see if I pressed onto this button, I'm redirected to screen 2, and when I'm pressing onto this button, then again I'm redirected to home screen, and in the console you can see we got our value which we passed from the screen 2. Now let's talk about the push replacement thing. Okay, so here I'm on the home screen and I want to replace this home screen with this screen 2. Then I can use this push replacement thing. So what this will do, it will replace the home screen with the screen 2. So this is the use case when you have the splash screen, or let's say login screen. Like user seen the splash screen, then he went to home screen, and then when user press the back button, then you don't want to show the splash screen again, right? So this is why we can use the push replacement in that cases. So here add the push replacement instead of push, and we don't need to change anything apart from this. Now if I save the code and run the application, then you can see when I press the home screen elevated button, then I'm redirected to screen 2. That is perfectly fine. Now if I press the back button, then the app is getting closed, because right now we don't have our home screen below this screen 2. This is why our app is getting destroyed. And don't get scared by this destroy thing. Destroy means our app is killed from the memory. Now I also want to talk about this pop until method, but we will do in some other video. So if you understood all these 3 methods, then please give the like button, because I need it very badly, and subscribe to Widget Wisdom, and I'll see you day after tomorrow with some exciting video.